Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Race, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Commission meeting. Come on in, have a seat. I see my Latina friends coming in. Yay! We're going to have our flag salute by Commissioner Pastorian. You ready? Yeah.
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now, may we have our roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Deutsch,
Here.
Commissioner Eventov. Vice Chair Faulkner is absent. Commissioner Lecters,
Here.
Commissioner Pastorian,
Here.
Chair Steed is absent, and Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any public comments?
We do have two non-agenda public comments. The first speaker is Armando Cerda, to be followed by Rebecca Wiersing.
Good afternoon.
Of an overview of our agency. We're a nonprofit. We are called Visión y Compromiso. So we are in the Riverside County area. So we are covering the desert, mid, and west county. And so we are running 5 different projects, for the underserved, mainly in the Latino community. However, we do not turn anybody away. So anybody is welcome. One of the first things that we do in the Coachella Valley is we have a program that is helping the asthma and in the home environment. So we are reaching out to families to assist in that regard. So anything related to asthma. So we have a good team out in the field of promotoras that they go out in the community and they do outreach and also presentations and events. So we do participate in a lot of the events for the community. So they're boots on the ground. The other one that we have, it's related to mental health. So it's a preventative service, and we work with Latino Commission, which is a well-known agency in the Coachella Valley. And what we do is we do referrals, we do outreach, we do events, and Latino Commission works as the mental health provider, in which they do clinical assessments and so on. And so a lot of these things, are focused on the Latino community. However, anybody is welcome. The other program that we're running, it's also the COVID-19 disparity, where we're assisting with vaccinations. We do a lot of outreach, marketing. We also do Facebook Live events in which we put the word out for COVID. So our team, it's not only doing it in the Coachella Valley, but also in the Riverside area, in the city of Riverside. Aside from that, we also do another COVID program in the city of Riverside, which is very similar, but this one is focused more on getting the word out, getting the community to understand what COVID is, making sure that they understand why it's important to get vaccinated and so forth. So aside from that, the agency has been around for a little bit over 20 years, and we are located in downtown Los Angeles. However, we are nationwide, including in the city of Mexico. So our efforts are definitely out there, and we want to continue to provide these services out in the community. So we are looking forward, and we will continue to look forward to working not only with you guys, but also with other counties that are yet to come. We do have a new project, in the horizon. It's related to persons with, actually seniors and persons with disabilities. And we're going to be talking to them also about COVID. So we are going to be working with a lot of the senior centers in the Coachella Valley area. So with that said, thank you very much for hearing me out.
Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome.
Next speaker is Rebecca Wiersing.
Get this right.
My name is Rebecca Weersingen. I'm the president of the Temecula Valley Rose Society, and I'm here to invite our community to an International Day of Peace celebration being held at Rosehaven Heritage Garden on Saturday, September 23rd, between 10 a.m. and noon. A core group of Great Oak High School's International Baccalaureate students have organized performances by several Great Oak cultural clubs, a scavenger hunt, music, and family games. The community is welcome to bring a picnic lunch to be enjoyed at the garden. Completed and dedicated last year, our Peace and Friendship Garden features 6 peace poles. Temecula is now on the international map of the Peace Pole Project. There are over 250,000 peace poles worldwide. On the 6 poles in our garden is the universal message, "May peace prevail on earth." There are 43 languages represented on our poles that are spoken in our community. English and 7 different languages appear on each peace pole, including American Sign Language and Braille. In this section of the garden, there are over 140 rose bushes. The white roses symbolize peace, and the yellow roses, friendship. This garden is a way for us to use our voices proactively and do our part to ensure the presence of peace is valued in our community. A quote I read today said, "Peace begins with a smile." We hope to see your smile at Rosehaven. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, if we can have approval of our minutes.
Yes, and that was our last speaker for our non-agenda items.
okay.
The rest will be under the proclamation presentation.
Okay, great, thank you. So approval of our minutes.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Take the
I'll go
roll
ahead.
call.
I'll do the roll call. I have a motion by Commissioner Evantov and a second by Commissioner Pastorian.
Yes.
Commissioner Deutsch?
Oh, aye.
Commissioner Evantov?
Aye.
Commissioner Lecters?
Aye.
Commissioner Pastorian?
Aye.
And Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now is the time that we're going to start our proclamations for celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And I just want to say, after reading the history and all that, we have a lot to celebrate this month of September. So I'm excited that all of you guys have come out to support. This is definitely an honor and a privilege to be here presenting the proclamations. And I think we're going to start with Randy's report. Do I have that?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Wilson. And yes, welcome everyone for our celebration for Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month. With that, we're going to actually go ahead and start with a video by the Department of Interior. As is our custom for celebrating our inclusionary proclamations, we always start with a little video denoting the history of the month. So we happen to find one on Department of Interior, and Chris, we'll go ahead and have you share that now.
Rico. Literally translated as rich, but a word that means so much more.
Used in countless forms to describe the deep and complex flavors of Hispanic, Latino, and Latinx cultural heritage, from food to dance to architecture to spirituality to song and even family. A word to describe a feeling such as this is hard to define. It is something that needs to be felt.
Hispanic, Latino, and Latinx heritage have a long, intertwined history in the Americas, particularly in the United States. The Spanish were the first European colonizers to express their culture and way of life onto the indigenous peoples of North America. From this point on, a new group of people was born, neither fully European nor Native American. The mestizaje of Latino America was born. As time passes, cultures shift and political boundaries dance across the landscape. We see the descendants of these people play a crucial role in the development of the societies of Latin America and, of course, of the United States of America.
Bienvenidos al mes de la herencia hispana, Hispanic Heritage Month, a month commemorating the Hispanic, Latinos, and Latinx who work for the Department of the Interior.
This month is dedicated to celebrating and reflecting upon the Hispanic, Latino, and Latinx experience, as well as the accomplishments made by this diverse group of Americans to build the country as we see it today. We are passionate employees of the Department of the Interior, committed to the natural resources and the cultural heritage of this nation. Representation of all cultural groups is crucial in accomplishing our goals for the American people.
And of course, that message goes out also from all of us local municipal employees as well. Next, we have some video comments from Supervisor Chuck Washington. Supervisor Chuck Washington actually has been with us since the beginning with respect to providing these proclamations that we celebrate during these months. And if he cannot be here, he always sends in video comments to uplift the students and the student clubs of our Temecula Unified School District. So tonight he was unable to be with us, but in true supervisor style, he did send in a video. So Chris, can we put in the video, please?
Good evening, Temecula. Supervisor Chuck Washington here. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you all tonight, but I'm truly honored to join you in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. During Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrate the cultures and contributions of Hispanic and Latin American individuals who have changed history. It's a reminder of how interconnected America is, tied together by diversity and unique identities, which serve as an essential part of our community's fabric. Diversity makes places better. In fact, diverse communities are linked to economic growth and improved educational and health outcomes for all. Did you know that Hispanic identifying residents make up over 35% of the 3rd District's population, and this number is only continuing to grow, making for a more diverse Southwest region. It's my honor to represent you all and join the City of Temecula in proclaiming September 15th to October 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month.
And Commissioner Wilson, from our supervisor to our mayor, I'll let you go ahead and introduce them.
Thank you so much, Mayor Swank, for being here.
Well, it's certainly my pleasure to be here, and I do want to thank Supervisor Washington for his kind words. He's always working hard for 3rd District residents, so we really appreciate him. Good evening, commissioners, staff, students, and community members. My name is Zach Schwank, and I am the mayor of the city of Temecula. And it's an honor to be here this evening as we share in Hispanic Latino Heritage Month celebration. I'd like to speak to the students in attendance this evening and let them know how important it is to me that we continue to listen and ensure that we as a community create spaces for you to thrive. Hispanic and Latino Americans have excelled in every way imaginable, from art and literature to science, sports, and politics. They've shared their music, their dance, their cuisine, enriching our cultural landscape. As we celebrate Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month, let us also reflect on the challenges and the obstacles these communities have faced and continue to overcome. Let us remember the resilience, the courage, and unwavering determination that they have empowered them to contribute so significantly to our community, our state, and our nation. In the spirit of unity and understanding, let us use this month as an opportunity to learn more about the diverse Hispanic and Latino cultures and histories that make up our American mosaic. We can foster greater empathy, respect, and inclusivity in our communities through education and appreciation. I hope we can all embrace diversity and inclusivity, recognizing that our differences make us stronger as a community. By coming together to celebrate Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month, we honor the past, embrace the present, and look forward to a future where all cultures and backgrounds are celebrated and valued. And on a personal note, I am in my 3rd semester of Spanish at Cal State San Marcos, and it is my hope, I am not confident enough to speak Spanish tonight, but it is my hope that I can someday come here and speak fluent Spanish for this month. So this is a wonderful celebration. I'm truly honored to be here. Thank you all.
Gracias. Now I will read our proclamations from the City of Temecula. Whereas each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September the 15th to October the 15th by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of American residents whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South American. And whereas the observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September the 15th and ending on October the 15th. And whereas the observance was formally enacted into law on August the 17th, 1988, on the approval of Public Law 100-402, and whereas the day of September the 15th is significant as it is the anniversary of independence of Latin American countries, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, while Mexico and Chile celebrate their Independence Day on September the 16th and September the 18th, respectively. And whereas the month-long observance is celebrated through various recognition and activities in support of the Hispanic and Latino communities locally, statewide, nationally, and internationally. And whereas Hispanic and Latinos, individual and families are an integral part of the fabric of the community and the contributions to its overall economic and quality of life. And whereas Hispanic and Latino community members are represented in the public and private sector and professional business owners, educators, students, volunteers, veterans, and more. And whereas these contributions include those of the youth of the community, including the Latino, Uados Club of Chaparral High School, National Nuestro Cultural of Great Oaks High School, Valley Folklore, and Michi at Temecula Valley High School. And now, therefore, our Mayor Swank, on behalf of the City of Temecula, hereby proclaims September the 15th to October the 15th, 2023, to be National Hispanic Heritage Month. Congratulations.
Commissioner Wilson, at this time, we'll go ahead and invite all of the students up to go ahead and receive those proclamations.
Okay.
And we'll invite the commission to go down as well. And so we have our photographer here, so she can go ahead and get some pictures as well. So first up is as well as our mayor, first up is the representatives from Chaparral High School, Latinos Unidos Club. Come on up to the podium. And we're going to call you guys back after to go ahead and do your presentations as well. We want to make sure we get pictures of all of you, and then we'll make sure that we send it to the schools and the teachers and the advisors. Thank you. Next up from Great Oak High School, we have Nuestra Cultura. Come on up. Yeah, we have.
I know, huh?
Thank you, Miss Juliet. Fantastic, thank you. And then we have two separate ones from Temecula Valley High School. One is Valle Folclorio. So we'll invite you up first.
I got 2 out of the 3. I didn't have a third kid to go to the other one.
All right.
Congratulations, guys.
And then the last one, before we start calling them back up for presentations, is also Temecula Valley High School, and it's Micha. Come on up.
Where are you guys going?
Oh, did they do it together? Yes. We did it together. Oh, okay, great. Well, then we'll go ahead and hand you the other proclamation. In the spirit of unity, you all did it together. So, okay. So at this point, we're going to invite up Chaparral High School's Latinos Unidos Club and ask them to go ahead and provide their comments and presentation. And you can go ahead and pull the mic down as well. Yeah, this is the... Welcome, Chaparral.
Hi, hello. I just want to say hi, my name is Nicholas Gonzalez. I am currently a senior at Chaparral High School, and I would love to just give a big thank you to the REDI committee for honoring our club today. Latinos Unidos is a representative club at Chaparral High School, which allows anyone to join and get a small glimpse of what the Latin culture is all about. Being half Venezuelan and part Mexican, it's important to me that we shine light on what our heritage is all about. Whatever that might be, through weekly meetings or fun events that we do for the whole school, like at lunch or anything, we all try our best to make everyone feel a sense of belonging and welcoming in our club. I'm so proud to see where this club has gone, and overall, I'm super excited for the future. I've been a part of this for almost 4 years now. Our first year was a little difficult, like all the online stuff, but ever since coming back, it's been great. And yeah, overall, I just want to say a big thank you for you guys for honoring our club and our heritage. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Great Oak. Nuestra Cultura. believe we have some slides that y'all sent in.
Yes.
So Chris, if you can go ahead and put up the slides.
Okay. Buenas tardes, yo soy Sara Solano, soy de Great Oak High School, soy una de las presidentas del club Nuestra Cultura. Hoy estamos aquí para hablar de nuestro club y también para hablar de la importancia de la herencia hispana. Hello, good evening. My name is Sara Solano. I'm from Great Oak High School. I'm one of the presidents of the club Nuestra Cultura, which of course takes place at Great Oak. And we are here to talk to you about our club today. And we are also here to talk to you about the importance of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Buenas tardes. Primeramente, muchas gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí para poder hablar de nuestro club y lo que hacemos en nuestro club. Mi nombre es Kalei López y también soy la presidenta de este club.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Ace Ramirez, soy la vicepresidenta del Club Nuestra Cultura. Gracias a todos para esta oportunidad, se significa mucho para nosotras. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ace Ramirez. I'm the vice president of our club Nuestra Cultura. Thank you guys for this opportunity. It means so much to us.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Chanel Ruelas y soy de Great Oak High School y soy la secretaria de Nuestra Cultura. Hello, good evening. My name is Chanel Ruelas and I am the secretary of Nuestra Cultura Club, and thank you so much for having us. Pardon, I forgot to say it in English. My name is Kalei Lopez, and I'm also the president of Nuestra Cultura. So we want to talk to you about our name. So our name is Nuestra Cultura, which is Spanish for our culture, and it serves as a reminder of our history, traditions, and culture from our culture, and we're able to share it with everyone at school. It also emphasizes the ownership and inclusivity of our club. It's not closed up to one certain group. It's open for everyone. Also, we started this club at Great Oak High School last year, so in the year 2022, and it was made to have a familia where we're able to share our culture and in a safe space where no one is being judged. In our club, we come together as a familia and we celebrate about different holidays, but we also learn about them so that we know the background of it and we know why we celebrate what we are celebrating. We also have many potlucks where students are able to bring their traditional foods from home, so that brings a personal aspect to our club and makes us have a more personal connection.
Next slide.
Overall, our goal is to create a safe place in which one can proudly embrace their Latino heritage and learn more about where they came from. Nuestra Cultura is for everyone, regardless of race or ethnicity. When students step foot in our club, we want them to feel welcome to make new friends. But not only do we promote sanctuary, we also encourage involvement and leadership within our club for our students to feel prepared in the future to become future leaders within our community. Our goal this year is to hopefully have a baile folclórico. Our vision for the future of this club is to expand our club throughout campus and get many students as well as faculty involved, and as well to make our club so vibrant and diverse that we stand out and we have our Hispanic student body stand out. We plan to organize impactful events to highlight us and promote our values of inclusivity. To reach this, we would love to create other connections with clubs and organizations to expand and reach our mutual goals.
Next slide. Okay, so today we wanted to talk about the importance of Hispanic Heritage Month. And we feel by having Hispanic Heritage Month and celebrating it, especially in the city of Temecula, we are more willing to highlight and recognize achievements and contributions that the Hispanic community and individuals here from Temecula or from around the world have contributed to make the world a better place. We can also acknowledge their impacts on various fields such as the arts, science, and politics, which therefore brings more inclusivity and recognition.
It's important to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month, especially here in Temecula, California, because it builds connections, because people from all different backgrounds come together and learn about different cultures, and we're able to share our personal knowledge and experiences with one another in order to strengthen our bonds. And that allows us to celebrate our similarities while still embracing our differences. And at our school, not only do we have this Nuestra Cultura Club, but we also have the Spanish National Honor Society. And what they do is they show their appreciation for the club by coming together and basically working together to create connections through the Spanish language. We also have a club called Casa Esperanza, and they make a long-lasting impact on the distant communities. They aid women and children who were victims of violence by providing for them.
Hispanic Heritage Month promotes understanding and appreciation for the beauty of diversity in many cultures and traditions within the Hispanic community in the United States. Each of us coming together, just like we are today, to share our culture allows others to become inspired, feel uplifted, and encouraged to express the beauty of their own ethnic background. This month has the ability to decrease the isolation many may still feel due to their ethnic background, and instead replace it with a strong sense of belonging. Our differences, no matter how big or small, are what make our world beautiful. It is nuestra cultura.
Next slide. Today, we wanted to share about an influential Hispanic who we believe has impacted the Hispanic community and the world around us today. Today, we wanted to talk about Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez. He was born on June 18, 1928, in Denver, Colorado, to Federico Gonzalez and Indalecia Lucero. His mother passed away when he was just 2 years old, which means his father was left to raise him and his siblings alone due to the fact that he never remarried. Corky Gonzalez would often help his migrant worker father in the sugar beet fields to help provide for him and his siblings. He received the name Corky by his uncle because he would always say that Rodolfo was always popping off like a cork. What he has done for our country. Gonzalez was a leader in the Chicano movement, and in 1996, he founded the Crusade for Justice, a civil rights organization in which they offered the then underserved Chicano community with opportunities such as job training, a food bank, and a bilingual school in which they would encourage the children and the students, and they would encourage cultural pride. The Crusade for Justice program also oftenly protested against police brutality, racism in the media, and employment discrimination. As Dr. Martin Luther King organized the Poor People's Campaign, a campaign in where the participants demanded that the government address the employment and housing problems of the poor throughout the United States, he invited Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez to help lead a group in their march on Washington, D.C. In marches and demonstrations, Gonzalez joined Cesar Chavez, who had helped organize poor farm laborers into the powerful National Farm Workers Association. Those are just a few of the many great things he has done for us in our country, for us as a Hispanic community. How he inspired or inspires the Hispanic community to this day. He would often unite the Hispanic youth to march against injustices, and he would encourage the youth Hispanic community to embrace their culture and be proud of where they came from. In 1996, his Crusade for Justice program helped Denver high school students organize a walkout after the administration failed to fire a teacher who used racist remarks. Throughout his pro-indigenous manifesto, El Plan Espiritual de Aztlán, the spiritual plan of Aztlán, he encourages Chicanos to strive for economical, cultural, and political freedom, and ultimately self-determination. Today, we wanted to talk about him because we feel he and many other Hispanic people who have had a grand influence on our country and on our world today needs to be recognized, and we appreciate you all inviting us today, and we appreciate you guys appreciating us by having this event today. Gracias por invitarnos. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
You guys are so welcome. Awesome.
And then last, but certainly not least, we have representatives from Micha here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and hearing us speak. I'd like to say thank you to the REDI Commission for developing all of this and bringing us all here together. We really appreciate it. My name is Rebecca Guevara. I attend Temecula Valley High School, and I'm a junior. Here I have with me the most two promising young women I've ever met in my life, Ruby Noriega and Yoli Santos. Without further ado, we're going to have about 3 parts to our speech. Well, technically 4 because of this introduction. But Yoli is going to talk about some of the things that Mecha has done as a club on campus, and then Ruby will also discuss more things we do. And I will end with a concluding speech. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Santos, a junior at Temecula Valley High School. I'm a first-generation student as my parents immigrated to the U.S. from Guatemala in the 90s. Growing up, education was always highlighted and prioritized. Because of this, one of my goals is to challenge myself academically, to make my family proud, and to honor their sacrifices. Whenever I feel discouraged, I think about my parents for inspiration. My mom, who wished she had the opportunity to attend school, and my dad, who had to drop out of kindergarten because he had to work to provide money for his family. As a child, I think of the staff at TVHS who have been there for me when I went through one of my toughest challenges in life. I plan to join a field in biology or chemistry, a career in STEM I hope to be in. I know I'm not alone in this journey. Thankfully, I have the support from family, friends, and teachers who have helped me navigate through high school and through the hiccups I come across in life. Through a friend, I came across Mecha, a club where I now take the role of the club's historian and graphic designer. Mecha meetings at TVHS are full of devoted and enthusiastic students who are ready to engage and give ideas on ways Mecha can impact our community. Recently, Mecha participated in Dia de los Niños, where we visited Vale Elementary to give students background information about our high school. Our goal was to inform and excite future students through the available opportunities they would have once they reached the high school level. We set up activities to keep students engaged in a fun and interactive way, as well as answering any questions they had. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ruby Noriega. I attend Temecula Valley High School, and I am currently Secretary of Mecha and a junior in TVHS. As Secretary of Mecha, I'm in charge of giving advice to the president of Mecha and keeping the ideas not just of the president, but of the club as a whole for future events and activities. In the 3 years I have been in TVHS, I started to value the fleeting time we have as students in high school. It's in those fleeting moments where it's crucial to have these connections to others, as it's an important part of forming a sense of identity, which would be one of the reasons why we have held activities such as Day of Solidarity and our Christmas donation drive. Day of Solidarity was an exciting event that wasn't held by Mecha alone. We had help of many other cultural clubs and in campus, and we made it a day where we could all come together, show our cultures and activities associated with their clubs, and making it fun for everyone to join and participate. Day of Solidarity gave students lasting memories as well as the opportunity to connect and uplift underrepresented communities. Metro's holiday donation drive was all about helping out and providing necessities for what would be used on a daily basis to an orphanage in Baja California. Children are given 3 meals a day, on a roof over their heads, and an education. All of these special events are only the beginning of Mecha, and we plan to make much more, whether it's to help out or to have fun. That's it.
sorry, guys. All right. Hi, hello, everyone. I just want to reiterate that our club is called MECHA. MECHA stands for Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán, and it's in Spanish, but what it roughly translates to is a Chicanx culture activist club that is mainly student-led, and it was first created as a result of several years of Chicana student activism and organizing. Various student organizations around the country had been also mobilizing at this time in the late 1960s. At the time, school districts had been largely ignoring Mexican-American history, and Chicano students were forbidden from speaking Spanish and often steered toward vocational careers instead of college. But by what I mean by vocational careers, I mean careers in the fields, in sweatshops, and stuff like that. This resulted in walkouts that called attention to systemic inequalities and ultimately improved and led to improvements in city schools. So, without further ado, I'd like to talk about me. My name is Rebecca Guevara. I'm 15 years old and a junior at Temecula Valley High School. I first started MECHA as a way to unite the Hispanic and Latinx population at my school. I saw not only an academic achievement gap, but a community of students that were considerably underrepresented. These were my family, my friends, people I had known for years. To quite fully understand what we have here in this room is a tightly interwoven web of friendships. I mean, these young adults you see here are representatives of the population that makes up over 30% of the, oh, sorry, I'm talking a bit too loud, that makes up over 30% of the Hispanic Latinx population in TVUSD. I guarantee you that these kids know each other for a long time, that they live maybe 5 or 10 minutes away from each other, and they live above each other on the floors of apartments, and they have gone to Sunday school and have attended church together for years. We've all lived through much of the same experiences and depend on one another. I've lived in Temecula all my life. I grew up here, I attended elementary school here, and grew up playing in Ronald Reagan Park. I've been taking Mommy and Me classes from the age of 1 and attended all pre-K because my mom had always been heavily involved in my education, even at the young age. She was the head of ELAC, DLAC, and involved in LCAP funding as well. As a student, I was classified as an English language learner, and I've been through many EL classes, and I've seen many teachers and met many different English language learner teachers, not only from my own school, but from campuses around the school district. So please believe me when I tell you the amount of absurd things I've lived through as a student of the TVUSD school district. Growing up, I was always confused as to how the classes given to EL students and how the classes given to mainstream students were so different. Now I understand why. I mean, they were meant to adapt to the level of comprehension these students had and their level of grasp on particular topics. But what I never understood as to why they were so unchallenging and why they didn't promote student achievement and just strive for mediocre understanding of the concept. I am appalled to see the complete and utter lack of encouragement to excel and consequently the push towards the bare minimum, all towards the Hispanic and Latinx community at Temecula. In middle school, I was often asked by my teachers and staff if I was even literate. I was reading books because I was reading books considered advanced for my age. Because of my experiences, I now know that prejudice not only comes from students, but from schools and staff. However, some teachers, like Mr. Aguilera, my middle school math teacher, who taught me so much and put faith and encouraged me to do more and explore the world around me. I'd want to also thank my advisors from my club, Santine and Favela, who believed in me and saw that I was capable of more. I want to thank teachers like Mr. Hyde, who acknowledged the fact that as EL students, we have to work twice as hard than any other student. And instead of telling me to do the bare minimum, he helped me find my voice and writing style. It's teachers like the avid staff at Temecula Valley High who saw my potential and cultivated it. It is these people that we should be spending millions of dollars on instead of programs that are so unsupportive and lacking in its efforts to supply the knowledge that students at this valley desperately need. It's actually policies and initiatives like the one our school district promotes, and it has made people feel that it is okay to have prejudices and ignorance, and it is wrong. It hurts students, and it inhibits the ability to encourage and motivate English language students. However, it's thanks to these teachers and staff that I have become the person you see here today. I'd like to give thanks to them and use my platform to uplift and encourage others to continue investing in their education, to believe in yourself when others believe you are only capable of mediocrity. Since my time as a TVUSD English language learner student, I'm happier to say now things have changed, and I will spend the rest of my life devoting to that change and becoming that change. But now, with our new school board, we are moving backwards, and it is my hope that with this speech, we will look around and stand in the face of ignorance and prejudice, telling us who we are, telling us that we'd never amount to anything because of our skin color, and say to it, we are proud of who we are proud of our heritage, and use the pain we felt over the years and turn it into power. Thank you.
Wow. I think I see our next lawmaker. Would you ladies like to add anything, or you're okay?
Yeah, if it's okay.
Come forth.
Hi, I'm Natalia. I'm from TVHS Baile Folklorico, and this is one of our captains, Ashley Gallegos. So we just wanted to say thank you so much for the REDI Committee, just in general. I've never been to a Hispanic Heritage Month proclamation, but I've been 2 years in a row to the Pride Month proclamation. I run our Pride Club at TVHS. And the work that the REDI Committee has done for us as students is incredible. As Hispanic students in a predominantly white neighborhood, it's very, very difficult to have our voices heard. My grandparents came from Jalisco in Mexico, and I never knew anything about it. I never grew up speaking Spanish. I never grew up surrounded by my culture. It was really hard to know anything about my family and their history because I wasn't exposed to it. I found out about Baile Folklorico through one of my close friends, Mia Banda, and I thought it was beautiful. I found out that my mom did it in high school, that my abuela did it when she lived in Jalisco, and I decided that I wanted to do it. So I joined last year, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. These girls have built such a community for me and for other students at our school. We work like a family, and we work to spread our culture and our beauty in our Temecula campus, and hopefully outside of it. Hispanic heritage is gorgeous. It's so important in the development of our country and the development of our connections with each other, and it is committees like these that help us express that. Folklorico expresses so much through it. It expresses Hispanic beauty, traditions, myths, legends, anything like that from the different states, and the fact that we are able to be here and represent ourselves through our voices is amazing. So we wanted to say thank you so much for giving us a chance to speak and be represented, because this is a step forward. This is a step to move on and to be heard by the rest of Temecula and hopefully the rest of the world. So, thank you.
Thank you. We can all go home after that. These young scholars, oh my God, my heart is just touched because the wisdom, the knowledge, and the history, the culture that you guys are sharing. And it's not because it's a class that you have to take in order to get a grade. This is something you guys are doing because you want to learn more, you want to be better, you want to give back to your community and share your culture that you love. So I just want to applaud each and every one of you. And I see lawmakers out of you guys, and I'm telling you, laws will change, especially the young lady that spoke. We hear you. So we applaud you. Okay. I think I'm next. Okay. So now on to the Hispanic Latino population. Hispanic Heritage Month celebrates people living in the United States who have ancestors from countries where Spanish is the primary language. The federal government first used the word Hispanic in a census in 1980. The population estimate was 60.6 million in 2019, which made Americans of Hispanic origin the largest ethnic minority in the United States. The Hispanic Latino population, which includes people of any race, was 62.1 million in 2020 and reached 62.5 million in 2021. Almost 28 million Hispanic Latinos identified as multiracial in 2021. There are 12 states with a population of 1 million or more Hispanic Latino residents: Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Texas, and that was from 2019. The median age of the Hispanic Latino population is 29.8 years old, according to the 2019 population estimate. Hispanic Latino Heritage Timeline. In 1821, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua declared that independence from Spain to September 15, 1821. Mexico, Belize, Chile all celebrate their independence in the month of September. In 1945, to serve the country during World War II, over 300,000 Latinos enlisted in the American military. In 1966, Cesar Chavez led the Delano Grape Strike, a 300-mile march from Delano, California, to the state capitol in Sacramento. In 1968, Hispanic Heritage Week was first introduced by a California congressman, and in that same year, the president issued an annual proclamation marking September the 15th to be the beginning of the National Hispanic Week, Heritage Week. In 1988, National Hispanic Heritage Week is expanded to National Hispanic Heritage Month and officially celebrated from September the 15th to October the 15th. In 1989, the first Hispanic woman elected to Congress, Ileana Ros-Lehtinen. In 1990, the first Hispanic U.S. Surgeon General is appointed by Dr. Antonio Novello. In 1993, first Hispanic woman to travel to outer space was Eileen Ochoa. In 2019, Hispanic Latino Americans made up the largest ethnic minority in the United States with a population estimate of 60.6 million. We applaud you, Hispanic Latino Heritage Month. Thank you. Yeah. So let's ace it, and that means, get my note here. There we go. Acknowledge, celebrate, and educate. And that is exactly what you ladies and gentlemen have done here tonight. You have aced it. You have acknowledged, you have celebrated, and you have educated us on National Hispanic Heritage Month. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being here.
Commissioner Wilson, we actually have a few public comments on this particular item as well. So before we hear from our Community Services Director on what's happening in that space, we'll go ahead and ask our public comments.
Our first speaker is Jillian Larson, to be followed by Bea Barnett. And since it's a business item, they'll have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Chair Wilson, commissioners, city staff, and mainly and mostly everybody that is here. By protocol, I am to stand looking forward. However, please know I am actually looking to everybody that is here. So congratulations. I've just returned from a 2-month trip in South Africa. I came back just in time to come tonight, and also 1 month in East Africa. And I want to let you know that South Africa filled my heart. I am South African, by the way. I'm also American. South Africa filled my heart because we, all of us in South Africa, are now the people. And that's what we want to see in this country. We are all the people. Every one of us, and remember, I'm talking to everybody that's watching and everybody that is in this room. We all add to the fabric of this country. We all have history, we all have culture, we all have talents, we all have languages, we all have everything that we can add to our town of Temecula and our valley. So thank you. And I'm so encouraged by the youth of this town. Thank you, all of the students who were up here tonight. I think we are safe. Please do better than this generation. Please do what you can do because you are all amazing. Keep going. Don't stand down. Stand up, stand out, and speak out. Because then one day, maybe in this country, maybe in this town, maybe in this valley, we will all be the people. So thank you so much. I celebrate with all of you. I congratulate you. And I am so pleased to be able to share this evening with all of you. So thank you. And I am going to turn around. And I'm sorry about protocol. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate everybody. And thank you so much, REDI Commission, for having what you do available to everybody. What you're doing is powerful, important, and significant, and keep it going. So thank you. And thank you, City of Temecula.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Bea Barnett, to be followed by our final speaker, Shirley Guzman.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Beatriz Gil Gómez Castillo Ferrer de Barnett. I'm a proud resident of the thriving 3rd District for the past 20 years and a public servant for the City of Temecula. Thank you for proclaiming Hispanic Heritage Month. Today, we honor the contributions of Hispanics to our country, our culture, and to our national character, a nation of immigrants. We celebrate the values de la familia y fe, which are at the heart of Hispanic American communities. We commemorate the histories, heritages, and impacts of Americans whose ancestry is deeply rooted in Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The American identity is a fabric diverse with traditions, stories that are woven together. While sharing close ties based on Spanish heritage and language, Hispanic Americans are the diverse national backgrounds. Personally, I'm a first-generation Cuban American, as my late parents, Manuel and Caridad Gil, wed in Havana, Cuba, 75 years ago this Sunday, September 17th. They arrived here with their family prior to me being born in 1961. During National Hispanic Heritage Month, we reaffirm that the diversity is one of our country's greatest strengths. Let us give thanks to the many generations of Hispanic ancestors who helped build, advance, and improve this country and continue to embrace acceptance and inclusion. To the next generation of family and leaders who boldly hold the destiny of our nation in their hands, here's the simple secret: treat everyone with dignity and respect. Thank you for respecting and honoring the wide shoulders we all stand on as a proud and strong foundation so that we can lift up and support our future descendants. Muchísimas gracias a todos y felicidades, hermanos y hermanas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final speaker is Shirley Guzman.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. Eric Faulkner. I know that he's not here this evening, but he's the one that invited me to come and speak to you tonight. And I just want to say how inspirational. I'm almost moved. I'm on the verge of tears to listen to the students that spoke here today. I am just filled with so much hope for our future generations, and for our community. So good evening, my name is Shirley Guzman. I'm a cultural community liaison and the Latinx consultant to Riverside University Health System's Cultural Competency Department. And I was asked to come here tonight in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month and to let you know what it is that I do for our community. I'm originally from Guatemala. I am part Guatemalan, part Salvadorian. Tomorrow is our Independence Day. I came to this country as a young child when I was 8 years old in 1981. I also was in EL classes. I didn't speak the language at all. I was very fortunate to attend a school. I'm from Palm Springs, California, where I had a lot of people who invested time in me to teach me how to speak English. My mom's boss also at the time, she was Italian. She worked day and night to teach me how to speak English so that I could fit in with the rest of the kids that went to school and everything. So when we have those people in our lives that take the time to help us, to invest in us, so that we can, become better, it just makes all the difference in the world. And as many of you have said, our culture, our community, the Hispanic Latinx community is so diverse. A lot of times we're all clumped together, but we're all so different. We have our own traditions, our own food, our own dialect, and that is something that we need to keep in mind. My grandma was an Afro-Latina. I mean, there's a lot of diversity in our community, but let me tell you a little bit with the time that I have about what I do. So my role as a cultural community liaison is to provide mental health resources and education to the Latinx community throughout Riverside County. Mental health is still very much a stigma within many communities, specifically within the Latinx community. While I can acknowledge that mental health has been the topic of conversation for many of us in recent years, there are still communities who live believing that they are not allowed to ask for help, and they definitely are not allowed to share family secrets. Many of our living elders would not tolerate uncomfortable conversations and instead would rather ignore or pretend like things are not happening. This is the reality for many people in the Latinx community. That is why the work that I do in our community is so important, because through education, we can start to destigmatize mental health, and those who are suffering in silence can get the help that they need to improve their quality of life. So what I do is I attend different outreach events throughout the community. I give presentations to our migrant families in different school districts. I worked for Palm Springs Unified for 21 years, so that's where my heart is, in public education. But now in this role, I work with underserved communities. I do a lot of work in the east end of the valley, Blythe, which some of us forget that is part of Riverside County. It's a rural community and they are in need of mental health resources, but I am the Latinx consultant for all of Riverside County. And I take great pride in the work that I do in educating my community about the importance of mental health. I also believe that representation is very important when we go to clinics, when we go to speak to somebody, about mental health issues, having somebody that can identify with our culture is very important. And therefore, I would like to, let our students know that if they want to go into the field of mental health, we need you. And we can make all the difference in the world when it comes to mental health, because it is still, there's still a stigma attached to that. So through education, through the, presentations that I give throughout our community, I'm able to bring awareness and to teach, to educate our folks about what mental health is, and how it's part of our whole health. It's just as important as our physical health. And also to make sure that mental health is accessible to our students in the schools, to let them know that it's okay, to normalize talking about mental health, before things happen. There's still suicide rate, is still high within our community. So make sure that, our students know who to talk to, but also our families, to open up those lines of communication between our parents and their children, so that we can all learn how to improve our quality of life, and understand why we feel the way that we feel. So I am honored to be here tonight. Thank you all for the wonderful work that you do, and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Commissioner Wilson, with that, we can go ahead and hear from our Community Services Director before we move on to Commissioner Campos.
Yes.
Buenas noches y gracias a todos por celebrar este mes importante con nosotros. Queremos decir gracias especialmente a los estudiantes por compartir su cultura y también sus experiencias personales con nosotros este día. My name is Erica Russo. I'm the Director of Community Services for the City of Temecula. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who's come to celebrate with us this evening, and especially thank you to the students who shared not only their culture with us, but also their personal experiences. It's those personal experiences which inform what we try to offer the community, and we're constantly seeking to evolve and grow and learn and offer services, programs, facilities, and events that are ever more meaningful, useful, and supportive of our community. With that, there are just a few items I'd like to share this evening. We have a couple of slides. First of all, this weekend, for anyone who is artistically inclined or even just artistically appreciative, We have our annual Art Fest featuring Cartoonapalooza this Friday and Saturday. It's from 3 to 7 on Friday and 10 to 5 on Saturday. It's right out here. We call it Town Square Park, just that lovely quad area right in front of City Hall. Suitable for the entire family. Come on out and enjoy art exhibitors, a cosplay contest, and a free chalk art zone. Next slide, please. Then next weekend, we're very excited to be bringing back our College and Vocational Fair. This was an annual event, and for many, many years, this event was the second biggest sales day at the Promenade Mall, second only to Black Friday. So it's a huge day. We bring tons and tons of people in. Over 300 colleges, universities, vocational schools, and military institutions are all there to provide information, answer any questions you might have. And it's just a fantastic opportunity for anybody who's contemplating higher education, vocational training, or military service in their future. You don't have to be a senior. You can just go wherever you are in your education, ask questions, get information, make contacts. You may very well learn of programs that you weren't even aware existed. And in my case, my daughter went one year, knew she wanted to major in hospitality, didn't know anything about a particular school, UNLV in Las Vegas, which has a great hospitality program. And she ended up connecting, getting a scholarship, and going there. So it's a wealth of information, and this will be our first year having it in person again since COVID. So we really encourage everyone to turn out for that. Next slide, please. Then on Sunday, September 24th, so the day after the college fair, we will have our annual Temecula Fit Fun Color Run. It's just another great day for the entire family. We have the adult teen fun run at 8 a.m., the family fun run starting at 8:15, and a special kids obstacle course at 9:45. And next slide. And then for our final item on Saturday, September 30th, I just wanted to bring everyone's attention to our Health and Community Resource Fair. This is another great opportunity to just come out, meet with representatives that provide different services. There are a number of health screenings that will be available for free, as well as informational booths, educational materials, Kids Zone. There's no fee for any of this, and we encourage everyone to just come out and get some more information and see if there's anything there that might help you or your families. So with that, again, I just want to thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much for that report. I think now on to our commission. Okay, let's do our commissioner comments. We can start with you. We don't have Eric here, so it won't be long.
Unfortunately, I have a few comments. First off, Erica, thank you for on the slide talking about the college fair for using cardinal and gold. I'm just saying. That's USC colors. Couple things. As a commissioner, been to multicultural, the Multicultural Network, went to the Senior Resource Fair here in town, several states of the city. We opened up the MSJC stadium at the Menifee campus, which is going to be a regional attraction and a regional benefit for all the campuses and for all the students and residents throughout the MSJC network. So for all the communities that it serves, please go visit it. It's phenomenal. Tomorrow's a big day. Not only do we have several countries celebrating their independence, tomorrow is also El Grito. I'll be up in Moreno Valley to celebrate that. That's a signature event. Saturday is going to be a mariachi festival in Lake Elsinore. Yeah, I do promote other cities. I'm sorry, but I do. And also, I want to wish a Happy New Year to the folks that celebrate in the Jewish tradition, Lashana Tova. I was a terrible Hebrew school student. Lashana Tova, Good Yantif, and Happy New Year to everybody. Now a few comments. This week we celebrated commemorated a somber anniversary, which was 9/11. And a day after that, there were some comments made here in this room by some city officials. While the actions of our state legislature can always leave us scratching our heads and wondering what they were thinking, it was wholly inappropriate to call our state legislators and the state legislature a domestic terrorist organization. And I am embarrassed and I am sorry that that was said, especially in these chambers. And some comments like that Well, to be honest, especially this week, they diminish the pain, diminish the suffering. They disregard, they belittle all that people are still feeling 22 years later because of comments like that. And so I just would like to say that I disapprove of that. I think that was inappropriate, and I think that was just flat wrong. Secondly, there's a lot of stuff going on across town, particularly at the school district. And while the REDI Commission is very much a city organization, funded differently, we're a totally different group, what happens in the city affects all of us. And the REDI Commission was formed as a way of finding deficiencies, looking at the problems that might be occurring here in the city, in city services and the like, but looked at through an equity and an inclusion lens. And so this room, this commission acts very much as a forum for providing a voice, particularly to those that feel like maybe they have been denied a place to speak. So I would like to invite folks that may have not had the opportunity to speak elsewhere regarding the issues that face the city or the school board or anything that affects Temecula to be very welcome at that podium. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, Commissioner Doach.
All right. First, I just want to say about the presentations tonight. I second what you just heard, that this should be a safe place and this is a welcome place. And what I heard tonight from the students made me feel so positive about Temecula. I don't have kids in the school, but I read the news. And sometimes it's stunning, the things that I read on the news and how often Temecula is in the news. I'd like us to be a more quiet, happy place to be. But with that, we are who we are, and what I heard tonight gives me tremendous amount of hope and promise, and I can see the future in the eyes of the students who are here tonight. My heart swells with pride. So I want to thank everyone who came tonight. I know you keep thanking us, but no, the thanks go to you. You are at the front of what's going on here. You are using your voices for change. I could not be more happy that you are the future and you have this city in your hands. I want to say also that I want to thank you all for introducing me to Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez. I am also from Denver. I just came back last night from Denver, and I was very, very happy to learn about someone else from there who made a positive change for the world. So I'm grateful for that little bit of history. Moving on to history, I am also a member of the board of the Temecula Valley Historical Society, and I'm super excited about what we are doing there. I have been on the scholarship committee this past year where we give money to students through Dollars for Scholars. We had a conversation at the board. My scholarship committee came together and we decided what we would like to do is to give money to each of the 4 public high schools to augment their history curriculum. And we went back to the Temecula Valley Historical Society board and said, like, this is our plan. And they said, first, let's do both and continue with Dollars for Scholars as well. And we're going to give $1,000 to each of the high schools, the 4 public high schools, to augment their historical education programming at the discretion of the teachers, to go to the principals and ask for the money and do what they want to do. And I'm so, so excited. And I want to thank the Temecula Valley Historical Society Board for doing that, because I did not expect that when I went back to them to say this is what we had decided to do. So those of you who talked about history tonight, those of you who want to augment the history programming at your school, please go check in with your principals. Hopefully those checks will be in hand ASAP, and I'm really, really proud of that. And finally, I can say I am also part of the Temecula Valley Writers and Illustrators, And as a writer, we have a booth tomorrow at Cartoonapalooza. We are an inside booth. Does that mean we're somewhere in the hallway somewhere? I don't know where we are. Where are we?
No, all the booths are outside, but I can find out exactly where you'll be. I'll find out. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Actually, we do use the conference center. You may be in the conference center.
We're in the conference center. Please come. We have air conditioning. Please come find us. So our booth will be out, and we'll have more information about Temecula Valley Writers and Illustrators, which is a growing, cool new group that we began here. And other than that, I just want to thank everyone who spoke tonight. I also want to thank the people who gave presentations, both the students and the members of our community. Your voices are heard. And as Commissioner Wilson said, she said, "We hear you." And I want to say yes, very much. We hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Letcher?
One of these days, you're going to say my name right, Commissioner Wilson. Good evening.
Commissioner Lyman.
There you go. That works. Good evening, everybody. What a powerful, powerful evening. I'm going to share a couple of things that I've done which seem relatively insignificant considering the conversations we've had and the presentations we've had from the young people. And then I do have a couple of comments I'd like to share. I work nationally in the space of child welfare and have spent the last couple of months doing some traveling around the country and working on equity issues, justice issues, and wellness issues. And while we face significant problems and issues in our communities here in Temecula, here in California, and across the country, there's great promise in the healing and wellness that's happening and some of the systemic things that we're able to solve and work on together. And so I'm excited about some of that and excited about opportunities to do some work around race equity, around justice, around healing and wellness, even recognizing the power of healing and the power of even some of the conversations we've had tonight that contribute to that healing. I am participating in my church locally on the racial reconciliation team. We have launched a new series using Race, the Power of an Illusion, award-winning documentary from right here in California that's been around for about 15 years. That's an amazing documentary that gets us into conversations about race and brings some realities into those conversations that helps us dispel some of the myths and some of the misconceptions that are part of our narrative in our country. I had an opportunity to participate in the Interfaith Council, the local Interfaith Council a couple of weeks ago. Actually, no, it was this week, a couple of days ago, and I'm excited that there are a group of faith, from different faith backgrounds that are coming together really to contribute to this city, contribute to the amazingness of this area. And lastly, I was recently invited to join the board of the Community Mission of Hope, so I'm excited about that opportunity to, again, contribute to this community, contribute to the area here in that role. It is a privilege to be on this commission. It is a real privilege to be here representing the city and hearing all of you. I have to echo my fellow commissioners' sentiments that what I felt tonight was a sense of hope, that the voice of the young people, the power of the young people, the amazingness of the young people. I don't have children in the school district either because I'm too old. I got some grandchildren in the school district, so, but I have great hope for this. This is one of the reasons that we moved to Temecula, because of the diversity, because of this amazing community, because of the amazing schools. And despite the struggles that we have, despite some of the tensions we have in our communities, despite some of the polarity that we have in our community, these can be overcome, these can be healed, these can be resolved. And my hope is in the voices that we heard today from the young people. So thank you for sharing yourselves, thank you for sharing your culture, and we're excited and just privileged to be here and be part of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lyman. Commissioner Pastorian.
Thank you. I'm going to echo what my colleagues, Mr. Eventov and Ms. Deutsch, said earlier about this being a safe space. This is a safe place, but more to the point, we are safe individuals. that make up the REDI Commission. And we invite anybody who wants to talk. And it's important that when we stand here, we sit here, we are unified, but definitely we are individuals who are safe people to come to. You brought up, obviously, a somber event that happened this week, and an interesting perspective, as many of you know. I'm in a school, I'm in a high school every single day. And yes, it's been 22 years. It's a really long time, and yet it seems like yesterday for many of us who can remember. But what was startling to me is that how many of our youth, they don't remember, obviously. They don't know, and it becomes incumbent on us to continue, if we want to, for them to remember, to let them understand why that was such a significant event in our history and how that affects them still today. Because there are so many things that they experience as a result of those actions on that day. But we don't always link those two pieces together. And this is an opportunity every single year on 9/11 to continue to educate, but educate in a way that makes it relevant to our youth today. I want to mention really quickly before I go on to the wonderful presentations tonight that tomorrow evening is the anniversary at High Hope, so I'm very excited about that. So I'm hoping that I get to see some familiar faces out there, but I plan to stop by and support our special needs community as well. It's our month. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. It's so exciting. This is such an important place and to celebrate and to express things. I heard so many different stories, but I have to tell you that your story is my story. My story is your story, and that's what makes it so rich and so amazing. My parents were part of the Chicano movement in two different ways. One was part of the walkout. One, their parents said, no, we have to conform. They stopped speaking Spanish, and they lost that cultural richness as a result. And so when my parents met, one spoke fluent Spanish and was very, very strong and proud, and one felt that shame that we talked about in their ethnicity and in their culture and did not know Spanish. You have to know, though, at that time, you were in a school setting ridiculed for speaking and acting and showing your culture. So I grew up kind of in this really weird half place. I was exposed to heritage, I was exposed to the richness of my culture, and yet I could never fully be Hispanic. I didn't speak the language. We didn't necessarily celebrate the same way that I saw my friends celebrate. And as I have grown older, it is because of you, because of today's youth, that I am continued to feel proud. You give me hope in what it is to be Hispanic. It is never too late to go back to school. I did not go to school like everyone else right out of college because it was not something that we necessarily grew up talking about. Higher education was not something that was part of our home conversation necessarily. It was vocation. It was go do something like that. But as an adult today, I am a proud student. I'm a proud student at an HBCU, so that's kind of cool. So, there's a lot of different pieces and elements of Hispanic culture that not everybody necessarily recognizes. It's also very important to know, and I appreciate our speaker earlier talking about the things that are not necessarily rainbows and sunshine and all of that stuff. There is a lot of mental health. There is a lot of teen pregnancy. There is a lot of drug use, suicide, and all of the things that are not pretty. And unfortunately, in my home, you can kind of tell I'm a little lighter. I'm a lighter shade of brown. You know what I'm saying? And my sister was not. And she got taken down a very different path because she had to conform. It was different for her. Her peers, that pressure, pulled her in a very different direction. And that's a whole other story, but I can tell you it is not a nice story, and it's not a pretty story, but it is part of what makes up many of our stories inside of our culture and in our heritage. We are absolutely stronger together, 100% stronger together. And to Commissioner Evantub's comment earlier with regard to some of the things that were said, I can tell you, all of you who are in here today are stakeholders of diversity. Keep your ear to the ground, because in today's climate, especially here locally, there is no minority, there is no diverse person, culture, group that is safe from prejudice or scrutiny. 100% currently right now. And that only changes when we are stronger together. And I recognize a familiar face, and I want to commend the people that understand that. Jillian, you're always on it, and you're here, and I celebrate that with you because we see you, and that's important. We don't always see that coming up out of everywhere else, but I will point out that today we have a representative of our Black Student Union here that is supportive of another minority culture with his parent, who is part of our African American Parent Advisory Council, our APAC, and that is something that means a lot. So stand strong together in our minority races, because that is what makes a difference. We are not apart, we are together, we are unified, and that includes bringing in those people of diverse needs, including our special needs community. So continue to have grit and show up and stand up and be proud. Thank you.
Amen. I know, give her applause for that. So we could just dismiss after that too, So I do want to piggyback on what you said about the duck pond, because I know my son, and I took Jordan with me, and he was 4 years old when that happened. And I was telling him about the story as we were driving over there. And I said, you know, you were 4 years old. I know exactly what was going on. You were at the Pomona Valley Fairplex Developmental Center. That's where he was at for childcare. And because of the Fairplex was such a big ground, they had us come and get all of the kids because they didn't know what was going to be the next target. And I was sharing that with him, and he was like, is that really? I said, yeah. I said, you were only 4 years old. I said, but you don't remember when you were 4, but every year we bring you here or we watch something on television in remembrance of this, because people have to know where they come from or what happened in the past, so that we can always reverence the future and we can continue and then to do better. So we sat there, and even though it drizzled a little, but it was a great ceremony, and I was so proud that we were able to be there and to just remember those who have lost their lives in that. So that was definitely a heartfelt evening. And then we had a community service event at Pechanga on last Saturday, and the sorority of Delta Sigma Theta and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated gave out Community Service Award, and Chuck Washington was there. He got an award, and thank you so much for Mayor Swank being there supporting us. Randy was there supporting us, and also Eric Faulkner got an award, and then myself, we got an award. We were honored from them for doing service just in the community that we love. So we were honored. We didn't have to get it, but they saw fit, so we accept it. Everybody on this commission is so passionate. I just love these people. They are hilarious sometimes, but we all get along. And I just love it that every month I cannot wait to see where they have been, what they have done. And it's always good stuff, and then it's emotional stuff. You hear them and you see this is passion. These people that sit up here on this right here is passionate about our city, about those that are underserved, those in our community with mental health. They want to make a difference. So when you see these people. They're just not here the second Thursday of the month. They're out in the community, boots on the ground, making a change in our community to make it a better place. So I applaud them. They get emotional. They wear their I know, they wear their heart on their sleeve, but we have a good group up here, and that's what it takes. And the students inspired me. Oh my God, I can see the next senator, commissioner, mayor, governor, all of that, just in those youth right there, because they are standing up in their school and making a difference, and they're not conforming to what someone tells them they can't do. They're showing them they can do it, and this is why we can do it, and these are the steps we're going to take, and then these are all the people that we're going to get with us, and we're going to make a change. So I love that, and I want them to know we hear you, you matter, and your voice matter most of all. Don't let anybody silence you. And my heart broke when the young lady was saying that they asked her if she was illiterate or something like that. And it's like no teacher should ever, ever put that in a child. And this young lady is 15 years old, and she still remembers that. She still remembers that. So we got to be careful of our words, those that are educators, because these young adults are being built on what you're telling them and what you're showing them. Make sure you're doing right by our young adults, because they will be our future. And I think that completes my report. Okay, so thank you guys.
Just a couple of things for the Executive Director's report, Commissioner Wilson. Monday was the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, and for some folks that live in this great nation, they mourn and they remember for a few different reasons. And it's not only what happened that day to our brothers and sisters as Americans, but it's what followed in the following week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when communities of Muslim faith, communities of Sikh faith were harmed and hurt as a result. And so for those families in Temecula that have those ties, we think of them as well. I too am inspired by the students. I have heard so many students in the last year say, I am first generation. And I will tell you, there is great power being a first generation. There is great power in being first generation because you never forget where you come from. It's literally tangible. So I think all of you that are first generation and second and third and beyond, it just makes my heart so happy to see you and to hear you and to feel your hope and your vision as the commissioners indicated. Lastly, Commissioner Wilson, the League of California Cities is having their annual conference next week. So several of us will be there and representing the city. And there are several DEI-related courses. So I'm happy to report, as a board member for the League of California Cities, that Cal Cities continues to have a commitment to DEI and all of its education, all of its conferences for the public sector. And at the next meeting, I'll report out and share whatever information we're able to bring back as well.
Thank you so much for that. Does anyone else have anything on the share, last minute stuff, something that jogged your memory? Well, Eric Faulkner's not here, so yeah. Okay, well then our meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you so much again, Mayor Swank, for being here. Thank you for your support.